Well, hey, now it's the Rob from 1061 Kiss FM here with my tag team partner in podcasting, the lovely, the talented, the non-staff infected, rambling Jerry Valeri. Good morning, Jer.
I will tell you what, you can joke all you want about that non-staph infection, but the antibiotics they gave me have been saving my bacon because 2 of the 4 members in my household have been dying from what I like to call walking dead-itis. And it's pretty terrible. And so I'm staying hydrated. I'm giving myself flu shots. Like we're
just
doing
okay.
Them to
yourself.
just giving them to myself. I'm drinking Robitussin. Like I'd make Lil Wayne be like, "Whoa, slow down, man."
Well, let me say get well soon to Kelly and Evan, who are feeling the Walking Dead-itis.
In a way, Evan's loving his life. I hooked up because I hooked the PlayStation up in his room with the TV, so he's just been playing Skylanders for 2 days straight in his bedroom. I feel like even when he gets better, if he's smart, he's going to play it off for a day or 2.
Well, if you learn from his dad, he probably will.
Absolutely.
So anything else worth talking about? You all caught up on Raw?
I'm all caught up on Raw. I listen, do you remember you and I had a tag team?
Back in when we were at Penn State College?
Yeah, what we called ourselves, yes. What we call ourselves.
We were Fire and Ice.
Fire and Ice, baby.
That's what we were. One of us is gonna freeze you. One of us is gonna burn you. Our finishing move was the freezer burn.
Hot and cold. I feel like just from one message we had this morning about Raw, I feel like we're no longer going to be Fire and Ice, and today we're going to be doom and gloom.
Well, here, let me get things started if you don't mind, because I had an overwhelming thought. Now, I want to say that over the past, I'll say 2 weeks, I've watched a ridiculous amount of wrestling. So I was on vacation for a large part of that, and I had to go to the hospital for a portion of it when I got a kidney stone. And
those are the worst.
Yeah, it was my first one. And so when I came back from the hospital, all I wanted to do was just sit on my butt and watch wrestling. So I've been watching Blu-ray sets that I have. I watched them just in order, but I've never watched them before. So I watched, and they're all 8 hours a piece. So I watched Jerry the King Lawler. It's Good to Be the King. I watched Best of WCW Nitro Volume 3. I watched The Road is Jericho.
Wow.
I've watched Daniel Bryan Just Say Yes, Yes, Yes. And I'm halfway done The Click Rules.
Now, when you watch these documentaries, do you also watch the accompanying matches that they put?
I watch everything.
Okay.
So it's 8-9 hours a piece on these things. So
I feel like the Lawler matches would be boring. This is just me.
No, the matches were very well selected, and a lot of them were interview segments. And so that wasn't so bad. Once you got to WWE, it was only a few matches, and the ones that were with Bret Hart. So,
right.
I can deal with that, obviously. Hey, I think I'm getting a feedback on your end. Can you turn me down, maybe?
How about that? How are we doing now?
Let's see. I'll have to talk. That's probably better. Thank you.
Okay, cool.
So I've been watching a lot of wrestling, a lot of really good wrestling, and I was excited when Raw started, but I really grew to loathe the show last night. I just did not enjoy myself last night.
I found it to be a chore. I thought that it was absolutely a chore to get through it. And I found myself wishing that I could just turn it off so I could watch this show that I became addicted to on Netflix. But I got through it, but it wasn't easy. And it should have been a night when it was, and I think I'm with you. I thought it started out pretty strong. I didn't mind how it started out. But then
I don't even know. Well, I'm not saying I think it started strong. I was just saying when the time rolled around, I was in a wrestling mood. I had the house to myself. I just made chicken nuggets and French fries for dinner. I was ready to watch some wrestling, but they lost me. They didn't lose me. They never had me. I
felt like I wanted to be in, and then it took 5 minutes. It took 5 minutes into the opening segment, and then I was done because they were cramming so much that they could have spread out over the show, just the way they paced it. You know, you have Seth Rollins. First you have setting up the Undertaker's coming, and you've got Stephanie and Mick talking, and then you have this stupid, like, your review. He's been general manager for like 4 months, and they're going to do a yearly review. Braun Strowman comes in and says, and then Braun Strowman shows up again in the ring, and then there's a fight with Braun Strowman, and then Roman Reigns is going to be out there. Like, it was just too much. Too much in 12 minutes.
They were doing a lot, especially when they have 3 hours to play with. Yeah, that beginning felt so unorganized to me.
And Braun Strowman just kept showing up. I was like, Jesus, is he going to be in every segment tonight, I guess?
Yeah, my first note actually has to do with Strowman. And my note was that for the first time, I feel like they do have some sort of expectations or plans, or they've got some sort of faith in Braun Strowman, like long term, like not just now. Like a lot of times characters like this can kind of come and go, but you've always heard that Strowman was a Vince guy and that Vince wants to make Strowman a contender. And I feel like they want to do things with him now. And
I think he's delivering. I don't mind him when he's on my TV. I just didn't like what was going on last night with anybody. And it was interesting because the screen was filled with wrestlers that I like. Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, Chris Jericho, Braun Strowman to a degree. And I was still like, I don't like any of this.
Yeah. I feel like I don't want to agree or disagree with what you said about him delivering. I don't feel like he's delivering or not delivering. I just feel like he's getting by, in my opinion. And I feel like his range of capabilities, when we look back on his career, I think at best he's going to be looked at as a Diesel type, and at worst like a Big Show Mark Henry type. And by Big Show, I mean like 5 years ago, Big Show, like just like the big guy who always comes out when we're trying to intimidate and scare people, but doesn't really pose a real threat, kind of Big Show Mark Henry type.
Right, and it could become that. It really could. Yeah. I think what they want, ideally, they want him to be a King Kong Bundy or a Yokozuna. You know, Vince loved that, the big villain, and then it just makes the hero look so much better when they topple the big villain.
Yeah, but I don't know that he has like I don't know. I have a lot of respect for Yokozuna and the character, and I feel like he's not that, like, he doesn't have that Yokozuna presence to me.
No, well, I'm saying that's what Vince wants. That's what they're trying to do here.
I see him more like a Mark Henry. If I had to compare him to anybody, just like he's so big and strong that no one will ever beat him, but people always beat him.
Right. By count out.
Or whatever, you know, and it gets old, and I hope better things happen for him, but I really feel like Strowman's career trajectory, minus the length of the tenure, will be that of a Mark Henry. So
right, and then there's always Kane, who everybody's so afraid of when he comes out, and then they beat him.
Yeah, exactly. You know, Kane's in the Mark Henry spot too, so that's a great example. So that was the first thing I had. Actually, the first thing I wrote was actually that, to be honest with you, after everything we said about him last week, Mick Foley finally looks good, I thought.
The hair getting shorter. He didn't look as feeble, but he was sitting for most of it.
Well, yeah, but he looked human to me. He didn't look ill and frail, and that haircut did him wonders, I think.
Yeah.
So let's see a few more notes I have from the show last night. I guess I'm jumping ahead here. Nothing really struck me on the show, but I did find a few things. There was the HBK segment was what it was. It was Shawn advertising his movie for 20 minutes or however long it was. I
have a note on that.
All right, sure.
I was going to let you get us there.
My note's about Rusev from that segment.
Okay, well, I mean, it could be about all of it. It just, God, I'd rather not see HBK at all. I really would. And I loved Shawn Michaels. And just
top three.
His promos now are so just all over the place and long-winded and weird.
Yes,
and
I agree
completely. And his look is way off from. It's just he's not HBK anymore. And he comes out and he ends it with the suck it, and I'm supposed to make it all better. And they bring out Enzo and Cass to help him. he forgot that he was supposed to give them a movie. He just got, I don't know, he gets sidetracked and he gets lost, and then he goes ahead and he gives a super kick, and that's all anybody really wanted to see. And just the whole thing, I was watching it and I kept thinking, here's a legend that I know that I love, and I'm not enjoying it. What's the problem here? And the same can be said when The Undertaker comes out. Like, I've gone from always, who doesn't love The Undertaker to some degree? And now I see him on the screen and it's an instant eye roll. Instant eye roll for me.
Yeah, I'm going to save my Undertaker thought for a second. I'll get there. The Shawn Michaels thing is just like, there is really nobody in the history of wrestling that I want to see promote their movie for 15 minutes. I love HBK. Listen, if Bret Hart were in a movie, I don't want to see him advertise it for 15 minutes. You know, I don't care. I don't care who you have sent out to help. It always feels hokey to me, segments like this. I noticed,
especially a crap movie. I mean, like, if you're gonna promote movies, then promote The Rock's movie. The Rock was in Moana, which was #1 for 4 weeks. It's going to be one. It's probably going to win an Academy Award.
Or like Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy is another one, for God's sake. But no, it's going to be some movie I can't even remember the name of with Shawn Michaels.
I just remember it comes out January 20th. Yeah, you're probably right. So there's that. Actually, I think Shawn was on the cover, so maybe he's in it for more than 2 minutes, but whatever the case may be. Yeah, it's like there are some wrestlers who are attached to legit movies. John Cena in Trainwreck is another bad example, but an example. Like these are legit appearances in Hollywood, and we're spending 15 minutes on Shawn Michaels, and I for the life of me, I can't remember the name of the movie.
Nobody's talking about this movie. There's no buzz about this movie. Yeah. And you're right. Guardians of the Galaxy and Trainwreck is a good example because John Cena was an ancillary character, but he was in it.
He had a lot of lines. I mean, it was a 5-minute appearance, but he was the star of the scene.
And he was funny in that scene.
Yeah. I mean, I would rather promote that for 20 minutes than I don't know Shawn's movies. I'm sorry. So there was that. But my other note from that was it seemed like for the first time last night, I feel like Rusev's goal was comedy. And I don't think that's a good move for him. But I mean, he's been funny before, but that was always kind of, I would say, maybe happenstance or the secondary goal. I feel like last night Rusev was trying to be funny.
He was trying and it wasn't good. The only time I've ever heard him drop a real line and try to be funny, and it was funny, was when he called Charlotte Black Swan. We called her the Black Swan one day when she was wearing her big black robe. I thought that was funny.
I actually thought he was okay at being funny. I just think he's better at being fierce and imposing as opposed to funny.
Exactly. He's the Bulgarian brute, and he's, I don't know. I was distracted for part of it. What made it tolerable for me is the fact that Lana it's not even, she's not even human. Like, that's not even human at this point.
I haven't fact-checked this, but I have a cousin who told me she was naked in an episode of Banshee. Have you heard of this?
I need to look this up.
That's what I said. I haven't looked it up yet, but are there any wrestling fans / perverts out there right now that can maybe... Okay, Jerry's he's right on it. I appreciate that, bud. But
we're gonna get this done. Let's see. Diva, Lana, Topless, and Cinemax and Banshee. Oh, I've been Sonic walled by my network security here. Work. Crap!
What did you type in? And I'll do it real quick. Hold on.
Lana naked in Banshee. Here it is. Found it. Image search. Just do an image search. I better turn the screen.
Oh yeah.
Na 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 na. Na 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 na.
So
podcast over. See ya.
Well, that was a great episode of Post to Post. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We've got another episode coming up. I'm kidding.
Man.
I'm kidding. But I guess everybody, you're welcome. Did I maybe just kind of drop a bombshell?
Wow, sirs.
Right?
She's a nice looking lady.
Yeah. Thank you, Cinemax, and thank you to my cousin. Thank you, Brian.
You know what? Even if he's not funny, Rusev wins.
That's right.
Rusev wins.
That's right. Well, let me ask you, when at some point over the next, I'll say week or two, will you with the Lana pictures?
I'm not going to leave this studio until I do it. I'm going to give you and your listeners and your viewers the respect of waiting until this podcast is over, and then I'm locking the door, I'm hanging newspaper over the window, and I'm just going to, at this point, it's the business. Business.
Right. Maybe I should have waited until the end of the podcast to drop the Lana boobs bomb.
My Lord.
All right. Well, yeah. Thank you for reminding me to bring that up, because that was.
I won't. One thing's for sure. I'll be sitting the rest of the podcast.
I feel like we've just lost. We've just lost a lot of our audience because people are just Googling now. Lana. I might need to change the name of this one to Lana, Topless, and Banshee.
We'll get more. I guarantee we'll get more views than ever.
All right. Right now it's called Chris Jericho wins U.S. Championship on WWE Raw. As soon as I get this one worked out and get the pictures of, it's going to be Lana, Topless, and Banshee.
I think it's a bigger news story.
Yeah. All right. That's good stuff. So,
especially since Chris Jericho winning the U.S. Championship, I didn't realize that was the only championship he hadn't had, the only singles. So I think that's cool. I like him being U.S. champ. However, I know why they gave it to him, and it makes me sad.
Yeah, that's my last note. Do you want to go there now? So yeah.
Yeah, let's go there now, and then we'll end with The Undertaker.
For everybody who's excited that Chris Jericho is the U.S. champ, I think you're all smarter than that, because all that means is Roman's winning the championship at Rumble. They
just needed to get that belt off of Roman.
Yep.
So Roman can have the other one.
And then it seems to me that this is the real beginning of Jericho and Owens.
Yeah.
Not for a title, WrestleMania. That's where they're going, I would feel like.
And it'll be for the U.S. Championship.
Probably, which is fine, because I feel like I'm just fine with that.
That works for me. But Roman Reigns being the Universal Champion totally just killed my Lana buzz. By the way.
Well, just keep the image search up on your computer, and I think it'll come right back.
I can't believe I got firewalled by the network security here at work, and Google image search will get you around it every time.
Oh, that's great that you can just get around it like that. We don't even have one, thank goodness.
You need one. They need one, but you don't.
Look, honestly, I feel like with what we do and what our jobs are, which we host radio shows. Every once in a while, nudity is newsworthy.
You need it.
Sometimes X-rated stuff is newsworthy.
So that's when I go on my phone and I just take the Wi-Fi off.
Yeah, no, I get you.
That's what I do. So you want to end with The Undertaker? I'll let you take the lead on this.
Let me get to a few more things here. So,
okay.
Still with Jericho and Owens, I thought that I gave the line of the night to Owens last night. When they were talking with what's her name, Charlie in the back.
Yeah.
Owens was going on like a promo rampage, and then he was done, and he just looks to Chris Jericho and says, "You say things now." I like that.
That's perfect.
So
I've got a line of the night, but I'm going to save it till we talk about The Undertaker.
I bet you I know what it is. I wrote it down, but I didn't make it line of the night. But okay, I'll save that one. I have that. Maybe I'm just crabby watching this New Day garbage, but I'm not enjoying it. The New Day thing, sometimes they're funny, sometimes they're annoying. Last night I was just maybe it was because they were in hour 3, but I just couldn't. I want to love them, but I just didn't last night.
I wanted to love them. I don't at that point, and I don't like Titus. So giving me that segment with Titus just makes me snooze.
Hey, and by the way, I wanted to propose something to you. What would you think about every week after the SmackDown recaps, we say who we feel had the better show? Like we give a winner of the week. Like last week, I think we agreed that SmackDown won the week.
I'd give it to SmackDown the last 2 weeks, but yes.
Yeah. And I would say that, I mean, it's looking good for SmackDown, but just maybe we'll throw that in as a quick aside, like just who had the better product every week.
Sounds good to me. And they're playing it up on WWE TV now a lot. But I didn't know it until then because I never checked the ratings or anything. But I was shocked that SmackDown beat Raw in the ratings. That's not good for Raw.
No, but it's also holiday nonsense, so I don't think you can take it very seriously, and I'm not sure that they care very much. But yeah, it was impressive that SmackDown was able to do that. I'll lead us into the Undertaker conversation if you don't mind, because something I have a few things leading up to Undertaker's appearance.
Please do.
So first of all, I'm taking it from a real life vantage point. You know how I like to, we can suspend a certain amount of disbelief, but I don't like when they make us, when they really insult us, I guess.
Yes.
So here's the way the show starts. And it's Mick Foley's performance review, which, as you mentioned, he's only been there for 4 months, but they're reviewing him for the past year. Okay, whatever. It's 8 o'clock. It's after 8 o'clock. It's like 8:05. You need to have the Undertaker here by 10 o'clock. What human being, honestly, you know what I mean? Like, that just drives me crazy.
Well, the Undertaker doesn't travel by plane. The Undertaker travels by
spirit,
lightning, and urn dust.
I know. It just, stuff like that annoys me. And then I just wrote that the banter leading up to the Undertaker was painful. And it's another kind of insulting way in that, like, the whole time I know Undertaker is going to be there. And listening to Stephanie try to swerve you that he's not there for like 5 minutes leading up to it was just frustrating.
So long-winded. And then when the bell tolls and the lights go dark before the lights are completely dark, you see her and Mick both break. She starts to smile. And I was like, you're not even trying. It's like you're not even trying to look surprised. You're not, like, if you're gonna go with this dumb facade, then make it, then do it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, it wasn't a surprise. It felt less special because they were talking about how it wasn't going to happen. We all knew it was. And I don't know. I didn't like the banter. Did it no favors. I felt
Line of the night. Line of the night.
Can I guess?
Yeah.
The first words out of Undertaker's mouth, quote, "I'm back."
I'm back. That's the line of the night because it's the most ridiculous GD thing I've heard. You said you were back at Survivor Series. You said that WrestleMania wasn't going to define you. Does that mean, I guess, you're going to be in the Royal Rumble now? Which is interesting to me since you limped up the ramp. He could barely make it to the ring, and he's going to try to convince me that he's back for a title run. And God, if they don't give it to him, I love the Undertaker. I love him. You know, I mark out when he comes out. His entrance is amazing, but it's just, he's a cartoon. He's a parody of himself at this point, saying that he's back and trying to act all badass. It's just, I'm just not buying it anymore. I'm not buying it anymore. He can barely stand. I feel like I could knock him over at this point.
Well, this is special because this is the first time we've ever had a line of the night that is identical to a line of the night from 2 months ago, because he said the same thing at SmackDown in November. And I hate to pick on you guys, but everyone was so excited that Undertaker was back. And I'm over here just like, oh, guys, come on now.
Well, now he's really back, and I'm not excited about it anymore.
Yeah, so I don't think he's going to be a world champion. Don't let that get you down.
But I don't know. At this point, they have muddied it with so many big name superstars.
That was my final note.
Surprises that at least I can't tell you who's going to win the Rumble right now.
That was my final. The list of stars and potential winners in this Rumble, I can't think of a year where it's ever been this strong. You've got Lesnar could win. You've got Goldberg could win. You've got Undertaker could win. Hold on, there's more in there. You've got Rollins in there. There's so many big names that I'm almost surprised that they're wasting some of these names on the Rumble.
Right. There are so many, and then we're not even thinking about some of the people coming from SmackDown that could
I know.
win it.
Yeah. And then I'm not even positive one of those big stars is going to, because there could be just whatever they've got planned on SmackDown side for their main event. That person, because honestly, Goldberg, Lesnar, Undertaker, if they're not going to be in a title match at WrestleMania, they don't need a Rumble win to get their angle over.
No, but I think that if it goes the way that it goes, it's looking like Roman Reigns is going to get one of those guys. I'm confident that now Roman Reigns is going to be a main event at WrestleMania, which I think is a huge mistake, but I think that's going to be the case. So who do they give him?
I also think Roman Reigns will be the champion going into the Royal Rumble. If you're asking me to book, I know we've been saying Triple H is going to be married to Rollins into WrestleMania, and it probably will be. But if I'm booking it, I'm probably giving him Rollins. Even I know Rollins is a babyface now, and so is Roman. But I just feel like that's the way you got to go. You know, I don't know that Goldberg is going to get. I think that Goldberg will have one last title run. I don't know it's going to be one at Mania, although it certainly could be.
It could be, and then they could do spear versus spear, that kind of thing.
I still think if I had to make a bet, I'm not positive. I think Goldberg's got Lesnar still.
That makes sense, unless the Undertaker screws that up.
I don't think Undertaker is going to be involved with either one of those two.
And I think it also insults our intelligence that the Undertaker will be. I'll make this bet with you. We will not see the Undertaker after WrestleMania for a long time. I think that I'm back stuff only means I'm back till Mania. That's all it means.
Oh, you know, I'm thinking Royal Rumble. And you're saying WrestleMania. I am not taking that bet. Yeah, after WrestleMania, you might get the night after, but that's it.
That's it. And then he's done again. Then he's gone again. We'll see him at Rumble, and then we'll see him probably. They're not going to give him a match at Fastlane or anything like that, but
no.
We'll see him at Mania then, and then he's done. He's not back. Quit saying. It reminded me of Antonio Banderas in The Princess Bride. He's like, you keep saying that word. I don't think it means what you think it means. Like he keeps saying he's back. He's not back.
All right. Well, here we go.
John Cena is back. John Cena is back. That's what that means.
Yes. Okay. So here's what I will say, and then we'll wrap it up with this. The over-under, I'm going to set at 3. So we'll make the over-under 3.5.
Okay.
Will we see between the Rumble and WrestleMania over or under 3 live appearances from Undertaker? 3.5.
Including Mania and Rumble or no?
Between them. So no, not including those.
3.5. I'm taking the under.
I think it's going to be exactly 3.
So you're taking the under too?
Yeah, I'm taking the under. But I think 3.5 is a good. Do you think it's a good place to set it? Or should we do 2.5?
2.5 makes it scary. 2.5, I still take the under, and you take the over.
Okay, yeah, let's do that then. Let's do 2.5. I'll take the over. You take the under, and it's got to be a live appearance in the building. I think
the only way that changes, I think, is if he does win the Rumble. You'll see him more.
Well, we're locking in now. I'm asking you to take the over/under now, and you can take the over if you want.
Taking the under. I'm taking the under.
Okay. All right. So if it's 2, 1, or 0, you win. If it's 3 or more, I win. But I don't feel confident about this. And it's just a side bet.
It's just a side bet.
So, all right, then let's wrap things up so Jerry can spend time with his Google search.
I need the facts.
I have to go into a meeting. So have fun with that. I wish I
got it up already. It's up already.
All right, just I don't need it on. I don't need it. Thank you. All right, for myself, The Rod, my tag team partner, Fap and Jerry Valeri. Have a great rest.
There are more than a couple. There are more than a couple shots here.
Think of me, buddy. Think of me.
I always do.